Good morning, sixth grade. All right, we are going to continue with chapter 9. And today we find James or Samuel working with Captain Smith. So let's keep going. Captain Smith finds me and hands me a straw hat and a hatchet and tells me to get to work. We will be felling the smaller trees in order to make room for our tents and gardens. James and Richard are assigned to work alongside me. My inclination is to work on my own and ignore them. But would it be so bad to work with them, I wonder? To cooperate? Better than being chained by Captain Smith again with no slop bucket nearby. I decide to give it a try. I see that it would be best to have one boy bend a sapling over, another boy chop it at its base with strong downward strokes, and the third boy drag the saplings into a brush pile. I clear my throat. Do you want to work together on this? I ask them. I explain my idea. Richard eyes me warily. Don't let him bend a sapling for you, he warns James. He'll let it go and make it snap in your face. I feel like punching Richard, but I know what that will get me. I stomp off to work by myself. Over the next several days, we boys, servants, laborers, sailors, carpenters, and soldiers work as hard as mules. We set up the tents and bring all the bedding ashore from the ships. We dig up the ground and plant the seed wheat we brought with us from England. We tie strings and knots and make nets and put the tents in river to catch fish, and put nets in the river to catch fish. We gather mussels, oysters, and crabs and bring them to cook. We lug buckets of water from the river for cooking and washing and drinking. We fell some of the big trees and split the logs long ways into planks, making clapboards. We load clapboards onto the ships so they can be taken back to England to build English houses. We also dig up sassafras root to ship back to England. President Wingfield says it will sell at a very good price because it is used to make medicines. I am so tired by the end of each day that sometimes I fall into bed without bothering to take off my shoes. The days are warm and the nights cool, with the lulling constant sounds of insects and tree frogs lulling us to sleep. Some of the gentlemen pitch in and work hard, but most of them just take turns standing guard, their muskets ready with slow matches smoking. For several days, it seems as if we are all alone in the Virginia wilderness. Then, one day, I look up from my hoeing and freeze, afraid to move or even cry out. Two native men come walking through the forest, quiet as deer. They each have a longbow slung over one shoulder. "Halt!" shouts one of our gentlemen guards. The Indian men keep coming, and I see our guards prepare to fire their muskets. "Wingapo!" one of the native men calls out. Wingapo? Captain Smith has never told me this is their greeting, and it means my beloved friend. The Indian holds up baskets, showing us they have brought us something, and they both smile. They are tall, sturdy men with broad, flat noses and wide lips. For clothing, they wear only a breechcloth, like an apron, and their faces and shoulders are oiled with something that gives their skin a deep reddish color. Just like Richard heard from the sailors, their hair, jet black, is shaved close on the right side of their heads and grows long past their shoulders on the left side, with a ridge of short hair down the middle. The long side has decorations. One man has shells, and the other has a whole wing of a bird dangling from his hair. Our guard approaches them, still carrying their muskets. The taller of the two Indian points to the muskets and then to his longbow. He lays his bow on the ground, motioning to our guards to do the same. I see the gentlemen hesitate, but then they lay down their arms. We gather around the baskets and find ripe red strawberries, purple mulberries, and round loaves of bread made from some kind of coarse meal. It all smells wonderful. Captain Smith joins us and begins to converse with the men, using his hands and words from their language. He gives them glass beads and copper in return for the food they have brought. One of the native men sees me eyeing the bread and he laughs. Oops. He laughs. He breaks a piece off and hands it to me and nods as if saying, "Go ahead, eat it." I say thank you, even though I know he doesn't understand. The bread is delicious. After that, the natives come to us nearly every day, sometimes two men, sometimes three. They call out Wingapo when they approach our settlement and always bring us baskets of food. The natives are happy with the glass beads and copper we give them. Captain Smith explains to me how copper is rare and precious to them, so it is like gold is to the English. And they have no means to make glass, and so the beads with their bright colors are to them like rubies, emeralds, and diamonds are to the English. At first, I thought that the Indians were strange to be willing to trade so much food for a few glass beads. But now I see that it is as if they are trading strawberries for rubies and corn for diamonds. One day, Captain Smith surprises us. "I believe the savages are spying on us," he says. "I have watched the way they look around while they are here. I think they are counting our men, seeing where our tents are located, and plotting an attack. We have invaded their land, and I believe they will fight us to get it back. We must build a palisade to protect the settlement." "Nonsense," declared President Wingfield. "You see how friendly they are. If we build a palisade, it will look as if we are their enemies. We will build no fortification." Captain Smith grumbles, but there is no arguing with President Wingfield, and I think that President Wingfield is right. The Indians have been very friendly and welcoming to us. Captain Smith's suspicion runs like poison through the settlement. What if the natives are spying on us? What if they are planning an attack? How will we protect ourselves with no palisades? The Virginia Company has provided our men with extra weapons and armor. In England, commoners do not carry weapons, but here, almost everyone has them. Still, when the weapons and armor are being issued, by the time they got to the last of the laborers and servants, they ran out. Some of us have no protection at all. Those who have armor begin wearing it all day, even when it is hot. Anyone who has a sword or a musket keeps it at his side. Those of us who have no weapons discuss the merits of protective techniques, like hiding under a mattress. "Their arrows will go right through a mattress, you fool." "No, they won't. The straw will stop them." "Yes, they will go right through." "Won't, will," and so on. On a day filled with bright, hot sunshine, I am digging up a plot, getting it ready to plant more wheat. James arrives with 2 buckets of water hanging from either end of a yoke balanced across his shoulders. He lowers the yoke and sets the bucket on the ground so I can drink. I take a ladleful and then spit it out. "Ugh, it's salty," I complain. I glare at him. Has he done this on purpose just to spite me? But he flinches as if I might try and hit him. I see the innocent look in his eyes. "High tide," he says quickly. "It hasn't rained for a while, and the river mixes with the seawater when the tide is up. It'll be better when the tide goes out, or if it rains. That's what Master Percy said." I take another swallow of the salty water, but it only makes me more thirsty. "Take it away," I say angrily. James slinks off. Reverend Hunt has seen our interaction. He comes over to talk to me. "Samuel, that poor child is unwanted by his father and despised by his stepmother. You should be able to find more kindness in your heart for him." I hang my head. I know Reverend Hunt is right, but I've been too tired and too thirsty to think about being kind. That night in our tent, there was more discussion about an Indian attack. Henry and Abram talk of making armor for themselves out of wood. Richard and James discuss what they will do if an attack comes. "I'm going to run to the ship," says James. "I'll row the longboat out to the Susan Constant and hide in the 'tween deck. No arrows can get me there." "You're a stupid, stupid boy," I think. I picture him running towards the ships with arrows flying all around him with no armor. But I don't mock him or tell him he's stupid. I hope Reverend Hunt would appreciate my effort to be more kind. End of chapter 9. Wow. So they met the Indians. They were friendly, but now they're afraid that they're spying on them so that they can attack them. Another social conflict with the Indians. Oh, and the social conflicts with the boys, there's still a little tension there. They don't exactly trust Samuel yet, but he's trying. And now we have another environmental challenge, don't we? The salty water. How are they going to drink water? How are they going to quench their thirst and survive if all the water is salty? I hope it rains again. All right, you guys, on to chapter 10.